decision has been arrived to vote electronically. And there was a yes and no abstention electronically. Why did you decide to opt to vote physically by abstaining on your own choice, your own choice? Otherwise, it was not a choice that has been arrived in the assembly. Why did you opt to go that direction?
Senator Essie Okenyuri. The questions asked, and then he's going to answer all of them together so that we can save on time. Senator Essie.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My clarification would be just to understand what the intention of the member of County Assembly was when he called the alleged drunk Adventist colleague. What was his intention in doing that? Did he have something he knew? Is he aware of the data protection we have in this country, Madam Speaker? Thank you.
Senator Lelegwe.
Honorable Kibet, you've just told the Senate that you've signed an affidavit as a group. But yesterday, when Martin took that stand, he said that he signed an affidavit individually and walked away. So, which is which? Secondly, what's your general view or the general conduct of the Kericho County Assembly Speaker, given your allegations that he has removed his Deputy Speaker of the Deputy Speaker of Kericho County Assembly and procedurally? Do you wish the Speaker to be brought and put on oath?
Senator Mwaruma Jones.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mheshimiwa, you recorded one of your colleagues. What I would want to know is if you sought his consent. Because then if you want to record somebody in an interview, then there must be an informed consent. Informed consent to mean that a written consent. Did you have that informed consent, and do you still wish, if that video or record or that audio recording is here and procedurally, do you still wish to use it as part of evidence, knowing that you had committed an illegality by recording somebody without consent? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Derito John.
Asante, Bi Speaker. Ningependa kumuuliza mheshimiwa swali. Kwanza kabisa nataka kukuamini kwa sababu wewe ni Mkatoliki. Pili, kwa nini nyinyi waheshimiwa 18 hamkupiga kura ya kukataa? Hatungekuwa tumefika hiki kiwango, kwa sababu wewe kama Mkatoliki unajua sheria ambazo zinatumika katika kanisa, vile vile sheria ambazo na kanuni za kudumu za gatuzi la bunge lenu mngelifuata, hatungekuwa hapa. Kwa sababu sasa wale 18 wangelipiga kura kusema la, hawaungi mkono huo mswada, hatungekuwa tumefika hapa. Lakini wewe sasa mnafanya hii kazi iwe ngumu, sisi kuja hapa kungamua nani hakupiga kura, nani alipiga kura. Nyinyi mngelifuata sheria, hatungelikuwa hapa. Kwa hivyo kwangu mimi ninakuamini ndio kama Mkatoliki, lakini kuangalia kwa macho naona kama kanisa kufuata taratibu za kanisa, unafuata vizuri wakati wa kupokea, wakati unafuata vile vile unapaswa kufuata sheria na taratibu za bunge wakati unapiga kura. Nashukuru.
Senator Beth, and we close this session with Senator Wakoli. Had you asked another question before? We will close the session with Senator Wakoli.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Actually,
I had two questions, and partly they have been raised by some of my colleagues. However, I wanted to ask the witness, you indicated that when the speaker called for the nays and the ayes, it indicated that the nays added. Did you raise any objection after that when he ruled that you are supposed to vote electronically? Secondly, it's about the 18 of you who did not vote. How would we get any record? Because you did not abstain, you did not vote no or yes. How would we have any record to know those if you did not vote and what you are saying is true? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Wakoli.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, na shahidi ambaye yuko kizimbani. Mheshimiwa Spika, nataraji unajua vita dhidi ya ufisadi umetia kasi sasa. Tukichunguza na tupate kwamba mlikula mlungula na kwamba umechukua nafasi ya popo ambaye si ndege si mnyama. Uko tayari kubeba msalaba wako kwa sababu hatutaruhusu kumsulubisha Kristo na tumwache Barnaba. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Mudigi, what did you want to restate? Because you had already asked the question.
Bwana Spika, swali langu, Madam Speaker, swali langu alikuwa limejibiwa na ndio nataka nimuulize tena aweze kujibu na ndio ile inafaa kwa sababu ni swali la muhimu.
Can you please proceed to ask very briefly?
Bi Speaker, swali langu kwa mheshimiwa. Tumeona video ikizungumza pale na iliongewa kama hamjaenda kupiga kura. Tulikuwa nataka kujua wakati mlikuwa nazungumza, kwa sababu ule mzungumzaji alikuwa naongea mambo ya shilingi 200,000 na pia hapo akasema mambo ya kwenda Rwanda. Seneti hii inataka kujua mlikuwa naongea usiku ama mlikuwa naongea mchana, na pia wakati mlikuwa zungumza alikuwa naongea kama mlevi na wewe unasema ni Mkatholiki. Ulikuwa upande gani? Kwa sababu nyinyi mlikuwa anjuani, ni vile tu mlikunja mkatofautiana wakati wa siasa. Hiyo ndio swali langu, Bi Speaker.
Senator Murango, have you abandoned your question? It will be...
Asante sana Mr. Speaker. Swali langu ni moja, kwa sababu tungetaka tujue, kwa sababu kama wewe ndio ulinakili mawasiliano ambayo yamechezwa katika bunge hili la Seneti, na kama wewe ndio ulinakili ile mawasiliano ambayo ulikuwa unapigiwa na mwenzako, ni vizuri pia kuelezea kama ni tabia yako kurekondi watu kila wakati unapigiwa simu, na kama sio, ni nini ilikufanya siku hiyo iwe tu ilikuwa siku speciali, ama ni sandifa gani ilikufanya siku hiyo ulipopigiwa simu na mwenzako uweze kunakili, ili tujue kama ulikuwa na mpango kabla ama ni banda ya gavana kung'atuliwa. Asante sana Mr. Speaker.
Witness, I will give you a chance, maybe 5 minutes to respond to all those queries because some have been repeated. So give direct answers so that we can move on after 5 minutes.
The question from Mwaruma, Senator Mwaruma. I personally thought, I never sought his consent because if I could have taken that chance or permission, he could not have given me the information he gave me, and that's why I could not be here today. So I never sought his permission or consent. But I've obtained certificate of electronic evidence it's attached in governor's volume, and page 261, 262. Kinyua, thank you so much for the trust you have in me, Senator Kinyua. Being a Catholic believer, we were allowed to vote. But just like I said before, we knew the mischief in that system. So we avoided Because as I had explained earlier, if I personally, I never voted, but still my vote is counted in the list of those people who voted. What could have happened if I could have pressed the button, whether to abstain, whether to vote no, it could have been a different story. And I could not have had the opportunity to explain myself to the public, to the senators, and to the people out there who are believing on our story. Honorable Pate, Senator Pate, Speaker never declared that nays or ayes have it. So, but as a proof, we have the affidavits, we have the videos, and we have the proof that even if we could be allowed to come to this floor of the House, the 18 of us, the 17 of us, because Edna, I don't know, she took her mother to hospital, so she is not around. But if 17 of us could be allowed to come here, so that what Honorable the Speaker, Madam Speaker, the other time he did an 8 count. You can do still the 8 count here to confirm that we are 17 who never voted. That's a proof, and a live proof. Wafula, Honorable Wafula, talk about corruption and whether I know of the repercussions of corruption. Definitely, I would not have taken any bribe if I could have, if I'm a person of bribes or corruption, I could have accepted the offers of Honorable Rogoy. And for your information, for the last 1 year since the impeachment of the governor, I was removed from jail finance. I have no responsibilities, but I'm surviving with my own businesses, and I'm lucky that my wife is working here in Nairobi, so at least she can provide for the family. We were taken denied all those rights, so we don't get privilege allowance. So if I was to take the bribe, it was this time I could have alluded to the fact that Rogoy gave me the offers, and I could have got into the trap. So I don't take the bribe. Mundiki, you repeated your question. And in the clip, when it was being played, I said clearly that I'm in my house with my children. So past 9 p.m., I'm watching news with my children. I'm relaxing at home. So I don't know. He himself confirmed in the clip, in the recording, that he was drunk. I even didn't know that he was drunk, but he said. Murango James, Honorable Murango James, he asked me if it's an habit for me to record. No, not at all. It was just a suspicion. I predicted something because it was the mover of the motion, and I was on the other hand opposing the motion. So what are you discussing at that time? Just immediately after the motion. So I was suspecting something could have been happening. Yes, I'm done.
Senator Delegwe, what's your intervention?
Speaker, the witness has not responded to my two questions.
Oh, sorry, I have another sheet. I'm really sorry.
Can you proceed and respond to Senator Delegwe's question?
Delegwe asked me about the affidavits. That the first witness, Honorable Martin Cheriot, said that he signed and left the office for other members to come and sign. We have two affidavits here. We have an affidavit of 18 members, deponents, and we all signed. But the individual affidavit where we were registering with the DCI on the allegations that we never voted, it was each of us individually. So we have two affidavits. You asked me again about the general conduct of the Speaker. I will not have wished to say here because he has no right of reply, but to be blank and to say it as it is. And that's why I was suggesting that if at all you could have the opportunity to remove this motion of impeachment from MCAs or from the county assemblies, I will suggest so. And if that could be had, I will suggest that you remove the deputy governor and the governor as a whole, not the deputy governor on a different, not to remove the governor and leave behind the deputy governor. So if we are going to remove the office of the governor as a whole, because these people are malicious. In fact, the deputy governor is praying that the governor will die so that they can take the position. So we need to pray. Secondly, there is that order.
We hope not.
Okay, let's pray so.
There is no such prayer.
Number 3, if at all the deputy governor could take the position, I will suggest that even if the deputy governor could be impeached, the deputy speaker could not be given an opportunity, the speaker could not be given an opportunity to run the government. Because the speaker himself, in so many occasions, even in his Facebook page, he's saying he's a man on mission and he wants to be the governor of this great county of Kericho. So he's a man on mission. He wants to finish Dr. Eric Mutai, then he comes for Fred again. Because in the clip, you could hear, we will impeach the deputy governor. That's Engineer Fred Grui. In Kalenjin, he said, he said, we will remove Engineer Fred. So he's a man on mission. So that's the general conduct of the speaker. If I could be asked to provide the details, I'll do so. Yes.
Thank you, witness. I hope you're done. And we want to discharge you now so that we can proceed on to the next. Do you? Can you give counsel the mic, please?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. One question for me from Senator Wambua. I have confirmed from the video that there seems to be no declaration of that specific question, but I'm yet to confirm from the hazard. So if you could kindly allow me to peruse through the thousands of pages. Once I get that specific capture, I will let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. So the witness is discharged.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker, Madam, I was also asked a couple of questions.
Yes, Katwa, Kigen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The first one is the propriety of my having asked the 18 MCS to stand. It was a very direct invite by both the Speaker and an MC, I think, called Tarimbo, asking me to substantiate my contention that there were 18 MCS in support of the governor and in opposition of the motion. I was very directly invited to substantiate that, and that was the only way I could substantiate, by identifying the 18 of them. The other question I was asked is why I took up the complaint about the use of electronic voting even before the MCS had discussed it. And my answer is that, number one, I had been informed by my client that there was a scheme that had been hatched to use electronic voting, and that the system had been in the process of being set up in the assembly the night before the date of the voting. And indeed, the MCS discussed that. The MCS who are opposed to the impeachment were saying we do not want to use electronic voting. The MCS who were supporting the impeachment were saying we will use electronic voting. The Speaker himself was saying, I don't know whether there's a system and whether we'll use electronic voting. Then the last minute towards the voting is when now the electronic voting was being rolled out. Of course, if you were to ask me, the Speaker was pretending that he doesn't know when he had already set it up. The last question I was asked was, why did we go to DCI rather than go to court for conservatory orders? It was an informed choice because we understand the issue is whether or not there was impersonation in the process of voting, and we wanted the DCI to use their department responsible for cyber crimes to determine that issue. We also came from the position that, as a general proposition, the Senate prefers to conduct their hearings to the end, and they tend to deem court orders directed at staying the process, or rather they treat it with a lot of circumspection, and many times they disobey them. And for that reason, we thought we just go through the whole process up to the end. Lastly, was the question of whether the joint affidavit was regular. It's our position that the joint affidavit was regular. The position of all the 18 MCS was the same. Their wishes were the same. And so when at the bottom of the affidavit, they say it is a joint position of what they jointly believe, and is fairly true. It is a true statement. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Senators. Madam Speaker, with your permission, I can call the next witness.
Yes, and before you do that, I just want to remind you, you have 1 hour, 49 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
To dispense with all your witnesses. How many more witnesses are you remaining?
There should be 16 because 17 actually. Apart from the list of the witnesses I have in my list, I have the expert who I got the permission to call him yesterday. I have the expert. My plan, Madam Speaker and Honorable Senators, is to call the next witness, whose case is that his vote was impersonated. After him, I will call the technical expert, and then I will call the other witnesses in my list within the space of the time remaining.
Okay. You may then proceed to call your next witness.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.